In seconds, solid ground can disappear. What we trust most can vanish beneath our feet. These are the biggest sinkholes ever recorded. Witness scale, speed, power. The earth opens its jaws. In the quiet suburb of Seffner, Florida, just east of Tampa, the night of February 28, 2013, was like any other. Families were asleep in their homes, nestled in a landscape known more for sunshine than for subterranean terror. But beneath the manicured lawns and peaceful streets, a geological time bomb was ticking. For one family, the ordinary silence was about to be shattered by a sound from the earth itself. Suddenly, a deafening crash echoed through the house. Jeremy Bush was jolted awake and rushed towards his brother Jeff's bedroom, only to find that the room and his brother were gone. The ground had simply vanished, replaced by a dark, gaping maw. A home, a place of safety, had collapsed into a vortex of soil and debris. The culprit was Florida's notorious geology. The state rests on a bedrock of limestone, a porous rock easily dissolved by naturally acidic groundwater. Over millennia, this process carves out a hidden network of underground caverns, a phenomenon known as karst topography. The ground beneath Seffner was hollow, a fragile crust of sand and clay suspended over a void. For years, the water filling this hidden cavern had provided buoyant support to the ceiling. But a regional drought had caused a significant drop in the water table, robbing the cavern of this crucial structural support. The thin layer of earth above could no longer bear the weight of the house. The roof of the cavern gave way with catastrophic speed. The bedroom floor was the first to go, followed by the walls, the furniture, and the yard outside. Solid one moment, a 20-foot wide, 30-foot deep vortex the next. Despite heroic rescue efforts, the sinkhole was too unstable to enter. Jeff Bush was never recovered. The house and two adjacent homes were demolished, and the pit was filled with gravel. It stands today as a brutal, silent reminder of Florida's hollow ground, where the danger isn't always what you can see, but what lies hidden just beneath your feet. On May 30th, 2010, in the heart of Guatemala City, nature and failing infrastructure conspired to create a scene of almost unbelievable horror. In the aftermath of Tropical Storm Agatha, the ground was already dangerously saturated from days of torrential rain, which had dumped over a meter of water on the region. The city was on high alert, but no one could have predicted what was about to happen in the Zona 2 neighborhood. It was a catastrophe waiting for a final push. Then, without warning, the streets simply ceased to exist. A section of the city dropped into a chasm that opened in an instant, swallowing a 3-story clothing factory and a nearby house. The collapse was so sudden, so absolute, that it left behind a void that seemed to defy the laws of physics. What remained was a sheer walled shaft, a near-perfect circle 65 feet across and a terrifying 100 feet deep. This wasn't a gradual slump. It was a clean, vertical punch through the earth, revealing layers of soil and asphalt like a geological cross-section. Investigators soon discovered this was not a natural sinkhole caused by dissolving limestone. The culprit was a burst sewer pipe. For weeks, or perhaps even months, leaking sewage and storm runoff had been secretly eroding the loose volcanic pumice that lay beneath the city. An enormous cavity was being hollowed out from below, completely invisible from the surface. The immense weight of the water from Tropical Storm Agatha was the final trigger. The fragile roof of the hidden cavern could no longer support the saturated ground and the buildings above it. The downpour provided the final, fatal pressure. The result was a geometry of absence, a perfect, terrifying cylinder of nothingness where a bustling city block once stood. It was a stark reminder of the hidden dangers lurking beneath our feet. The event tragically claimed 15 lives and forced the evacuation of hundreds. The sinkhole was eventually filled with a concrete-based mixture, but the image of that perfectly circular abyss remains a powerful symbol of how nature and aging infrastructure can fatally align. In Berezniki, collapse came slowly. Then, all at once, crater after crater grew and merged. One giant pit stretched beyond 400 meters, Floodwater dissolved the pillars holding up the earth. Buildings, railways, forests, consumed. Thousands forced to move. A city, eaten from below. Not disaster. Monumental time at work. Xiaojia Tiankeng, the world's deepest sinkhole. A skyscraper could stand within and vanish in scale, carved by a river over countless ages. Within, a living forest thrives, life sheltered by stone and shadow, a heaven-sized hollow in the earth. Along a dying shoreline, the ground is riddled. They appear without warning, small to street swallowing. As waters fall, hidden salt dissolves. Cavities open just below a fragile skin. Then the surface gives way. A landscape in retreat, fracturing as it goes. In the heart of Texas oil country lies the Diceta Salt Dome, a massive underground formation of salt that has been mined for decades. For years, companies injected salt water into its caverns to displace brine, a common practice in the region. But deep beneath the surface, the delicate balance of pressure was beginning to shift, setting the stage for a catastrophic failure. On May 7, 2008, the ground gave way. It began as a small depression, barely noticeable. But within hours, it was growing with terrifying speed. A small hole appeared, then raced outward, devouring everything in its path. The earth was opening up, swallowing a century of industrial activity. By the end of the day, the sinkhole spanned an incredible 200 meters across and was nearly 50 meters deep. The collapse was so sudden and so complete that it left a permanent scar on the landscape, a stark reminder of the forces at play just beneath our feet. Heavy industrial equipment stood no chance. Oil tanks, trucks, and utility poles were consumed, dragged into the abyss as if they were toys. The infrastructure of the oil field, once a symbol of power, was now just debris littering the edge of a chasm. A nearby saltwater lake, once a separate body of water, began to drain into the newly formed void. The torrent of water carved new channels in the earth, accelerating the erosion and expanding the sinkhole's reach even further. Investigators later determined the cause: a cavern failure. Decades of brine extraction had weakened the salt dome's structure, and when one cavern wall finally gave way, it opened a direct throat to the depths. The pressure change below was instantaneous and irreversible. The surface simply obeyed gravity's pull. Today, the Diceta sinkhole is a permanent, toxic lake. The water vanished, but mud, silence, and industrial contaminants remained. It began with bubbles and tremors. Then the swamp opened. Forest after forest fell, an entire community forced to leave. Mining carved too near the edge. The wall failed. Gas rose from depths as the hole grew. A living, breathing sinkhole, still expanding. Before sunrise, a 5-lane artery failed. The street fell into the dark. Utilities snapped. Groundwater surged. Saturated soils flowed into the worksite. Then, remarkable recovery. In a week, the road was back. Speed, collapse, and comeback. In a single day, a hole devoured a neighborhood, a house, 5 Porsches, an Olympic pool, streets, classic karst, stone dissolved, support gone, drought drained buoyancy, rain pressed down, collapse complete, now a lake, value vanished, geology ruled, a permanent scar. Number 1, the heavenly pit, depth beyond imagination. An underground river sculpted the void. Stone yielded to patient water. A hidden ecosystem flourishes within. A cathedral of nature carved from the earth. Magnitude that humbles us. These holes show a planet alive and unforgiving, born of water, time, and shifting pressure, sometimes accelerated by us. Terror or wonder, the scale is the same. We live on a thin crust above hidden worlds. Which sinkhole shocked you the most?